Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking in. All right, so I found a few articles today that I thought would be pretty interesting to bring out, and hope we can talk a little bit about it. Maybe ask a few questions and answers a few questions. I don't know, but so there's a lot of stuff coming out with Hunter Biden when it comes to phone calls, text messages, emails. More stuff coming out with Biden. Biden just recently with the prime minister or wherever that was at, talking about how he'd sold secrets to the state and been doing it. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if that was a Freudian slip or if that was really did that really happen. Really happen. You tell me in the comment sections what you think about that. But that video is traveling around quite well. I'm a little bit busy, so trying to pull all that together. You've seen it. You've seen the video, so. But you've got this group, Patriot Front, and there was a group of just people that were American supporters of like America, just like regular people, like they weren't even really protesting. They were just kind of holding their flags out there, American flags, and just making that kind of a normal thing. It should be. We should be able to be patriotic and hold our American flag up and say we love America. When there was a group of guys that came up with their face masks and their well organized khaki pants and all the like full length sweaters that hide any arms for any reason, so you can't see any tattoos to identify anybody, and of course they wear the sunglasses too, so you're looking at pretty much an unidentifiable person for the most part. And this is something that I don't advocate for violence, but I do advocate for basically you know preserving our right to peacefully assemble. And these people that are doing this are actually doing bad things when they peacefully assemble, and then are listed under a certain category of people who the FBI have listed as domestic terrorists. And what that does is it makes the FBI and other people able to show footage of somebody doing something wrong under the name of whatever that people are. And it doesn't matter if they're just Americans. I think as much as I love the Make America Great movement again, Make America Great Again movement, it's a great state of mind, but we should probably get back to just saying we're Americans and we believe in the American way, because that's basically what we're just trying to preserve here. Make America America again. Of course, if we branded ourselves, then that would be a brand that they could adhere to, so we should stick to just being Americans. I know that's a hard thing to do now that we've gotten this far into that Macedonian and stuff, which is cool. In a normal world, it'd be fine and acceptable because we're not really harmful people and or violent at any cost. But if you brand something, that brand can be attacked, and no matter what you call it. If we called ourselves peace-loving people, we would be, those peace-loving people. They would have quotations to say with it. So that's something to think about. And if we could do that, that would really make, because they want to call, and they would name all Americans and say, well, Americans are bad. We need them to say that. That would really wake up a lot of normies. But anyhow, I've got a few articles that will talk about that. So let me get out of the way and we'll talk about it. And here's a little bit on Hunter Biden stuff. I know everybody's probably getting pretty leathered up with this because we've been dealing with it for so long, but this is an irony that I wanted to bring out. Penn State professor says school forced him to teach that English language is a white supremacy religious cult. So in other words, having proper grammar, which I don't have. Guess I'm not a white supreme pizza. Anyways, I do my best. So teaching this, speaking properly and having a good articulate way of bringing a message is all of a sudden under scrutiny and under threat, because if you do that, that means you're trying to be better than somebody. You're trying to be better than me, boy, with all those big fancy words. Always thinking you're smarter than somebody just because you can say them big fancy words. And at times people can feel threatened by people who have a high level of intelligence. But what people don't understand is a high level of intelligence doesn't mean I went to school. You don't have to, and you don't really even have to have a really good grammar to have a high level of intelligence. Sometimes you just need to be aware of what's going on. And that in itself can make people look at you like you're funny. I grew up in a small town here, and you see what I talk about. I've been thinking this way for years. And all it's done is with people who are, think that it's, stupid to have a higher level of consciousness or a way of thinking outside of what you just see, as far as what you're told. I mean, what people are told, that you get bullied and picked at for it. You'll be singled out and ostracized. And so this Penn State professor, what's ironic about it is Penn State, if I'm not mistaken, that had to do with they were a big advocate of accepting money from China over the past course of just several years of almost $50 million, which I guess when we look at the larger scheme of things and where money's went, $50 million just doesn't seem like a lot of money anymore. So in their eyes, they're like, that's just $50 million. But anyways, this college received a lot of money from Chinese Communist Party affiliates. And by the way, that was another place that there were a lot of classified documents found I'm sorry, they want to say, okay, set 14 or 15, but those could be hundreds of pages long, but that's still a lot. And nobody says anything about that, but all these classified documents were, this was after a tip-off too, so there's no telling what was there beforehand. But this professor talks a little bit about that, and it says, that's copyright, so I can't play that from that show. But a professor during the Pennsylvania State University of Race Discrimination, after he was subjected to instruction that the English language is a racist and embodiment of white supremacy, along with additional tirades against white people in professional development trainings, according to a lawsuit. So you're going to send your kids to this place, and you're going to spend all this money. And by the way, if you ever seen what Penn State College looks like, it looks like a dump. For a place that's got $58 million in money handed over to them, they didn't put any of that in any of the infrastructure planning, or like the irrigation system comes on and water shoots straight out of the ground. Little dookie place. Hunter Biden, the prosecutor, claims he was not allowed to charge first son out of Delaware and was denied special counsel status by the Department of Justice. This is where Trump made mistakes with picking people. This was Trump's Department of Justice, if I'm not mistaken, who started this whole investigation, slow-walked it, and then you had a cleanup effort by John Durham to do a milquetoast investigation only to get non-conviction so that everything could be listed under court of law if nobody did anything wrong. But anyhow, this is the whistleblower, Delaware U.S. Attorney's Office. Federal prosecutor David C. Weiss allegedly told 6 witnesses that he did not have the authority to charge Hunter Biden outside of Delaware. RadarOnline.com says it has learned that Weiss also reportedly told the witnesses that he was denied special counsel status by the Department of Justice. And concerning development to come a week, Joe's son had agreed to plead guilty. Of course, we know that. And then, according to the New York Post, the alleged meeting took place on October 7, 2022, and was first disclosed by IRS Supervisor Gary Shepley during his testimony before the House Ways of Means and Committee of the 2023. He surprised us by telling us that the charges I'm not deciding the official on whether charges are filed, Shapley told the House committee. He then shocked us with the earth-shattering news that Biden appointed U.S. Attorney Matthew Graves. Okay, so this was sorry about that. Matthew Graves would not allow him to change or to charge in his district, Shapley continued. So I'll read that again. He then shocked us with the earth-shattering news that the Biden-appointed D.C. U.S. Attorney Matthew Graves would not allow him to charge in his district, Shapley continued, which means that there was a lot of outside influence as to how this case went and what charges were filed. And this is supposed to be able to another cleanup effort right here. And I don't know what's going to happen there. But I've got questions here. Check this out. You see this beautiful picture right here of multiple presidents and senators? If you can look on the top left, you'll see Obama and Joe Biden right here. There's Hillary Clinton and George Bush. I'm recognizing some faces up here. Anyways, these were all living former U.S. presidents, except Donald Trump. There's the only person out here, except Donald Trump, direct descendants of slaveholders, including Biden and Obama. Okay? You seeing that? Only person on there it's not theirs, Donald Trump. Reuters' investigation into the genealogies of American leading political figures reveals a legacy of slavery in the nation's corridors of power. The staggering fifth of the country's lawmakers, living presidents, Supreme Court justices, and governors can directly trace their lineage back to ancestors who enslaved the black people. Damn, there's a right there. These are the 3 living presidents right here. I'm sorry, 5. 5. Okay. And the finding includes Joe Biden and every living former U.S. president, with the single exception of President Donald Trump. This is crazy. And a direct descendants individuals who once enslaved black people. And by the way, where Obama really originally from, I think that's still going on to this day. People need to understand that these people don't care about your race, your ethnicity. That's a made up word, ethnicity. They only care about power and money and keeping their legacy in some sort of form or fashion. And so that means that just because Obama's black does not mean he cares about what you as a black person are going to have to struggle through from one day to the next. He is not worried about that one bit whatsoever. But you can bet that he is going to be making sure that everything that he's laid in place for some kind of ideology that he has loved and endeared ever since he's shown his division throughout through several presidencies, getting his nose and all this stuff. He does not care. Joe Biden does not care. Lyndon B. Johnson sure didn't care. If you want to look back on some of his quoted words about giving people free money and how that would affect things. And by the way, speaking of giving people money affecting things, the appalled FBI gets obliterated after issuing a statement regarding the Proud Boys confronting and unmasking these white nationalists. I talked about this earlier. This is this so-called, this isn't the exact Patriot Front group that we're used to seeing, but this looks real similar in demographic so far as how they wear their clothes, how they organize, and what they try to do. And if this is not how conservatives operate, this is not how Americans operate. We want to make things better. We want to come to understanding. We want people to come together and unite. And I really liked seeing Donald Trump not say anything bad about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. That was kind of nice. I did appreciate that. I didn't appreciate it when he said things bad about Ron DeSantis, but then after I started looking into what's going on with Ron DeSantis, I see his point. But I think that we need to, I know this. I don't know I couldn't give you the mechanics or what would all take to make things work out like they should. But I think some level of unity and like not attacking one person or another, especially if you've got a good candidate. I know that Robert F. Kennedy is involved in believing in the climate change thing. Well, he recently has been not awake to what was going on with these things here up until not long ago. And once he found out what it was, he changed course and went a certain direction. So I think that once he probably, because you'd be surprised, because these people are politicians, these people are right there on the scene, just like a parent with a bad child. A parent doesn't know how bad their child is because they're there every day. They've been warmed up to the bad behavior. So it's not, when you're on the outside looking in, you can see it. And you can actually help navigate because you're not involved to the extent where you've been normalized as this behavior. And I would think the same thing when it comes to people in politics that are right there on the forefront, because they're not going to get the same take of what's going on when you're on the outside looking in. And so hopefully with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he can understand that the Green New Deal and all this stuff is a big sham. And I don't know what his stance is on 2A rights. There's something weird about that. But he's a better platform than Biden by far. It seems to me that Kennedy would be a fair man, make a fair decision accordingly if given the opportunity. So far. Plus he's jacked, dude. I'm 100% for Trump because what we need to do to get this stuff straightened out. So I'm not taking away from him. Just saying these two candidates could come together, Republican and Democrat. And I don't know how all this works, but if something were to be just in there kind of twined together and show unity, it'd be nice if a third party would actually work, but it won't. Third parties just don't work. I know I'm rambling, but there's so many things I'd be thinking about what to do and how to fix this stuff and how we could all come together. But that's one way. It's a fairy tale, but there's a video of this going on, and if I show the video of what's happening between these just people, YouTube will more than likely give me some sort of apprehension due to violent content. So I cannot show this. I don't want. I need the channel to stay up. I do. If you want to see stuff like that, I can show you on Rumble. I have a Rumble channel, but I do a lot of mysteries and we dig deep into things, and I can talk about stuff and not have to worry about getting shut down. This is a good way to kind of grab people and move people around to go look at other stuff. That's my main goal here, guys. And this is how we resist this globalist agenda, by talking about this stuff, watching this content, getting aware of what's going on. And so the thing that goes a little deeper to this is with Adam Kinzinger. This is a tweet. It says right here, Adam Kinzinger's tweet. He says, "These people, all blue checks, are celebrating a seemingly MAGA assault on federal officers." What does he mean by that? Does he? I mean, I'm guessing sure he would know that we would read this tweet and we would see this tweet and we would make us ask questions. But is that just something he's doing to stir the pot as far as the conservative movement? Or does he know something that we don't? It says, after he said that on the federal officer, it says, "I don't know what this really is, but I'll take a gander at the comments. The patriots who love America." In other words, you've got to reverse everything they say. If they say it's daytime, it's nighttime. If they say when they say our democracy, they're not talking about us. Our democracy, like you, me, those people saying our democracy, they're not including us in their democracy. When they say their democracy, their power structure. Donald Trump is a threat to their power structure. That is their democracy. We are a republic, not a democracy. That's also the thing that we need to correct. But whenever they want to make claims and all this stuff, people who love America, Adam Kinzinger, quote unquote, loves America. Now reverse that. What's the opposite of love? He hates America. He likes the money. He likes the money that they pay him to be the turd face that he be. But on a prominent political commenter certainly thought Kinzinger let the cat out of the bag. And Jimmy Dore, he's all over this stuff. But FBI issued a statement declaring themselves appalled that anyone would dare suggest they were involved in the brawl. We all know they would never adapt such methods. Really? Really? The FBI would never adapt such backwards methods of doing anything, considering what happened with Governor Whitmire and a dude who slept in the basement of a vacuum cleaner's shop. That's just one aspect. What about the Branch Davidians? What about Ruby Ridge? I mean, guys, just think about that. I mean, there's so many other things that I don't even know they've done, but I'm sure if they did that, once you tell a lie, it's hard to come back. You tell a lie, and I'm going to think you're a liar for the rest of your life. I'm just saying. I'll believe when you talk to me, I'll listen to what you say, but I'm always going to make sure I look around the corner to see what might be coming around it, because there's a good chance that you probably told me a lie, because you've told me lies before. Whoever that is, doesn't matter if it's a significant other, or if it's a FBI, or if it's a guy at the grocery store. I remember that dude saying, "Hey, that dude told me a lie. I better look into what they're saying." So yeah. Anyways, I wanted to just bring these few articles out and talk a little bit and just kind of just see what's going on out there in the comment sections. Please, let me know what you think about the videos, and appreciate all the wonderful support, and hit that like, subscribe, and share. And collective consciousness is where this at. I think that's how we build our societies, through that. I know that we'd love to see a change happen right away, but we all have to kind of unite and understand what's going on, so we can all kind of say, hey, this isn't right. Our collective consciousness will be the dominating factor in our universe that provides us the magnetic pull to do something right. I'm fine. I'm down with that. Can y'all get on that level? Anyways, thank you again for tuning in or clicking in, and appreciate everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the week coming up. Got a lot of stuff going on, and big days ahead. Lots of love, guys. I'm out.